Some would call it swag, some call it cockiness, some would call it being a diva. But when you're good, it's not bragging. And elite wide receivers and the confidence they exude often permeates an entire team, and we're going to see a couple of examples of that in this one. Welcome, everyone, to the home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium. As we'll see a squad from the ACC, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, taking on the 16th-ranked team in the land, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. LSU will put a foot to it for the opening kickoff. And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
And the big tight end, a lot of times that's a bigger strike zone, a bigger dude, and you could tell they put the hit on him, and that ball came out, and it came to the turf. Nice job playing physical by this defense.
This crowd, full throat, spreading the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. He'll pull it on the read. They ripped off 7 on that one. Now a 3rd down and 3.
And and you're seeing his dynamic ability to run the football that time on the option play. I know he doesn't pick up the first down, but that's still a good chunk of yardage, and the defense wasn't ready for it. Moving forward, expect the offense to go back to the option play again and see if someone will finally take the quarterback and force him to pitch it.
They are calling for their defense in Baton Rouge. A huge third down coming up. Dropping back, it's King. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down.
Just got to wonder, too, guys, if the crowd didn't impact the offense. They're playing on the road on the first third down of this football game. Incomplete. The idea here, I think, just punt it away and see if you can regroup, because this environment is hostile.
He was able to get that ball up to the 48-yard line before he stopped on the return. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. From the gun, running back on the move. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
They're dealing with a second and long. Wants to go up top. Fires one high and deep. Hits him in stride inside the 10. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
And the offense punches it in again, and we call his name again. That's 2 touchdowns now in 2 games with still more to be played. I'll tell you what, I think this guy's name will be called a lot more throughout the season. He's that kind of good.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he's going to bring it out. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. First play of this drive comes from the 14-yard line. They'll test the right side. Pushes ahead for 2. They'll mark it at the 17.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Back to throw, it's King. Bought a little time, lets it go. Finds his big tight end. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down.
You know, I know it seems like an easy pitch and catch, but for the tight end there, that route potentially changes if it's man coverage. So good job by him knowing it's zone. I'm just going to sit down. This is basically like a check down, right? Let's just take the easy pitch and catch and keep this drive going.
On 3rd and short, they'll try to convert through the air. Got him downfield. There he goes. Coming through that 3rd down conversion, and they'll mark it at the 43.
You know, one of the areas that separate good offensive coordinators from great ones is how efficient their offenses are on 3rd down passing plays. That was the perfect call at the perfect time, and obviously executed well.
The Yellow Jackets will snap it on 1st and 10. Corners showing press. They want to be physical here. Got out of trouble and throws. With the catch, it's Rutherford. They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up.
This is a very tough slot receiver to cover if you're a linebacker because of how quick and how shifty he is. You never seem to know which way he's going, and he always seems to create an open space for his QB.
They'll leave it with him. Oh, a lot of space. Just what they were looking for, and he's got him set up in business at the 35 with a first down.
Well, the offense didn't have the result they wanted on that first drive, having to punt, but they're having a lot more success here on the second drive. They're having some balance, and they're getting a rhythm. I think a big part of that is their ability to run the football. Very, very important to them, and doing a nice job on that last play, picking up the first down.
They're going to go right back to him on first down. He's going to lose a yard on that one. And the Yellow Jackets will hustle to the line.
Well, the defense didn't have a lot of time to celebrate that last big play because here's the offense right away back at the line of scrimmage, ready to roll again with tempo.
This senior showed some serious arm strength firing that one in for the first down.
And I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Bought a little time, lets it go. Intercepted, big play, stops the drive. Got room on the return. He's at the 40, the 20, and he will roll into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers!
And the defense sets the tone early in this football game. We're still in the first quarter, and this is looking like they're putting a complete game together. Offense scoring, defense scoring. Palmer, they're up 2 touchdowns already.
Yeah, you got to give this coaching staff credit. They have their guys ready to go, and this is what you call firing on all cylinders early in a game.
He'll start the return inside his 5. And he's able to pick his way. The traffic nicely for a good return on that one before he's brought down. First snap of this drive will come from their own 32. Looking for a man, it's King. Throws to the wideout. Intercepted, a first half turnover can swing momentum. Didn't let him get loose on the return, but he'll take it as they have the ball at the 47.
Nothing going right for this team early in the first quarter here. The defense is getting gashed, and now you've thrown a pick. The head coach has got to get his team together and get everybody to calm down and settle in.
And this defense, they've got to do a big job here. Like, offense puts you in a bad spot. You haven't had some great moments, but this possession, we got to get a stop, got to stop the bleeding, and get the ball back to our offense.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Wide receiver going in motion. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. He hurls one deep down the left side. And it's picked off at the goal line. That's one way to make a stop. Taking it the other way. They'll stop him at the 22-yard line as the defense makes a play.
Well, everything was going so well for this team early here in this game, and now all of a sudden they get a critical mistake. And you know how college football, David, is about momentum. What is their defense going to be able to do here now when they take the field?
You're right, man. The momentum swings so fast, and now this defense's job is to go out and stop it, right? Like, we made a mistake. You huddle the guys up, sudden change. Be aware they might take a shot down the field, but let's grab the momentum right back.
Looked to me on that deep ball like he was forcing it a little bit. You got to be careful as a quarterback. You're not trying to outduel the other guy who just threw a touchdown pass. You're just trying to win the game. So just execute the plays. The ball goes to who it's designed to go to. If that means you got to turn around and hand it off, then that's what you got to do. But I think on that last deep ball, QB forcing it a little bit.
Makes the catch. It's Haynes. The Yellow Jackets want to pick up the tempo. Back to pass, it's Kane. Rushes on him. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Great job by the defense dialing up some pressure on third down. They hit the quarterback and forced the incompletion.
And the Yellow Jackets will try to pin them back with the punt. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Takes it on the return. He gets a block. Very little will make a crowd hold its breath like the punt return, and he brought them to their feet on that one. A little wrinkle here as they go to the Wildcat and use the extra blocker. Gets the back moving. On the direct snap, it's Durham. Oh, and he's going backwards. Defense not fooled at all by the Wildcat.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Back to pass. Here comes the heat. Working that left side. He'll be brought down at the 3-yard line. An explosive play in the passing game has him on the doorstep.
I don't know if this defense knows what just hit them because they gave up the completion, they gave up a first down, and now here's the offense back up at the line of scrimmage again, going tempo.
Starting off this quarter close enough to smell the goal line. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. So frustrating to see an offense lose track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that. LSU lining up 1st and goal. He might want another play. Looking downfield, it's Nussmeier. He's going for the goal line. They'll mark him down at the 2. The excellent execution on that throw and catch. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? On the move. He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. LSU quick to the line. They'll move the wide receiver. They'll immediately call timeout.
Timeout, LSU.
That defensive front was a stone wall on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 1. The give. Absolutely nowhere to go as this makes a third down stop.
No, you got to be aggressive here because if you score a touchdown, the nail is in the coffin, and this might be ball game. And even if you don't get it, they're now going to have to drive the entire field.
I'm in the lead. Everything's going right.
Fourth and goal from the 2. Can they finish this drive?
Let's go! Face it!
Trying to bully their way in. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on 4th down?
Hey, if you're going to go for it on 4th down and you decide to run the football, you've got to be sure up front that you're going to win in the trenches. They didn't get it done that time. They need to be more physical moving forward if they're going to try to do that again in the same type of situation in this game.
They are pinned deep in their own territory. They'll snap it from their own 4 to start the drive. Running into the open space. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam. How about that effort to get it out across the 20? They'll mark it at the 21. It's a first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
To the air, it's Kane. And he throws his 3rd pick of the day. His head has to be spinning. Takes it the other way. Oh, he was hoping for the pick 6. Instead, he got it down to the 16-yard line.
Well, obviously it's raining here in this game, and ball's slippery. I don't know if that slipped out of the QB's hands a little bit, but it certainly wasn't an accurate throw, and as a result, it ends up in an interception.
He stopped at the 14-yard line, and they'll stay on the attack from there. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Motion from the wideout. Back to pass on 2nd down. They're setting up the screen. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. LSU right back to the line. Quick pass on the jet motion. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Offense trying to go push pass on 1st down on the goal line, but the defense, tremendous surge up front. They get penetration, and they get the tackle for loss.
Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Looking to fire. Oh, they're after him. He just kept those big, powerful thighs churning, but he'll be knocked down at the 1.
You love that decision if you're the head coach. You're trying to throw it in the end zone. Nothing's there. Good job by the quarterback, tucking it and running and just getting what he can get.
They'd love to make this short field pay off with a touchdown instead of settling for 3, but it is 3rd and goal. Touchdown, LSU! Quick strike through the air for the score.
All you can say is how impressive has this team been at home today in all 3 facets of the game. Their defense has been outstanding. We've seen some plays in special teams, and the offense continues to deliver, showing off all of the playmakers and all of the versatility they have on that side of the football. This could not be better here in the first half for the home team.
Lining up to add another. And with the extra point, they're up 21-0. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. It was capped off by a 1-yard touchdown pass. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. From inside his own 15, looking for room. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They come to the line for the first play of the drive, snapping it from the 21. To the air, it's King. With the catch, it's Rutherford. Caught, and he's close to a first down on the nice pickup there. The Yellow Jackets can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They'll try to muscle their way forward on 3rd and short from the 29. And the Yellow Jackets are at the line trying to move the sticks on 3rd and short. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. Knocked down in the backfield, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Yellow Jackets want to move quickly. On 4th down, looking to pass. Gets rid of it. Big tight end makes the grab. First down, still on his feet. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down.
And that's a first down for the offense.
And the Yellow Jackets come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Here's the handoff. They'll pick up 4, 2nd and 6 coming. Stuck with a running game on first down. Now here they come again.
And after that run, getting right back up to the line of scrimmage to go hurry up, defense has to be ready.
Trying play action. Fires to the wideout. Got it in the middle. It's Patterson. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down. The Yellow Jackets are rolling down the field. They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. Looking to throw, it's King. Pulls it in, it's Rivers. Defense was right there, but they couldn't stop him from making the catch, and he's got it to the 30. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. The give on the option. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So then getting that big chunk, getting in 2nd and
just touchdown, Yellow Jackets! Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone.
Man, nice job getting the passing game going. This is big, man. Going to the half. Now, listen, I know you're trailing, but building some momentum. Maybe this second half we can keep airing the football out, cutting into this deficit, and who knows what the heck will happen.
They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. He'll call for the fair catch here. Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. He fires to the left side. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot.
This quarterback is living dangerously now. He threw a pick earlier in the game, and he almost threw another one right there. These windows are tight. He's got to be really good with his decision-making.
After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Well, it just seems as if that ISO play just never really had a chance to develop.
Yeah, but if I'm that running back, good Lord, I'm looking for something. There wasn't any space on the inside, so he tried to bounce it outside and try to make a hole, but sometimes you just run that thing downhill, lower your shoulder, try to get a yard or two, and you bounce it outside, you get a loss and put your offense in a worse situation.
Off play action. Got a man. It's Durham. He's knocked down just short of the 30 at the 29-yard line. It brings up 4th down. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. LSU will bring the punt team on the field. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. Kick is in the air. And the punt team able to sling him to the ground. Here we go. They'll try to get something on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Back to throw, it's King. Takes the easy throw in the flat. He goes out of bounds after picking up a few at the 35-yard line. And it seems to be a lot easier for the quarterback to find this guy than it is for the defense.
Yeah, and I think this is a guy, Reese, that you can split him out and you can feel comfortable getting the football as many ways as possible because he is one of those matchup problems. Linebackers aren't going to be able to run with him, so try to find ways to maximize that little guy's speed and athletic ability.
Better get that seismograph ready here in Death Valley. Huge 3rd down coming. Quick completion on the out route. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a 1st down. And the Yellow Jackets in the hurry-up. On 4th down, they'll try to throw it. Hauls it in, the 1st down and more. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call.
Well, to heck with being conservative, right? I mean, that essentially would have just been a chip shot field goal with where they were on that 4th down. But they decided to go for it, throw it. They're looking for 6. They're going for a touchdown. They are being aggressive.
To the air on 1st down. Unloads to the wideout. Got it! And he wanted the score badly, but the defense wrestles him down at the 2. He's just winning that matchup in the slot every time.
And when you put him in the slot, Reese, he's closer to the quarterback. It's an easier throw. We can run in, we can run out, and really take advantage of his versatility of the guy in that slot position.
Clock still running, almost certainly the last play of the half. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update. To start this 2nd half, they're lined up for an onside kick. Cool as a cucumber as the hands team makes a sure catch.
Man, how about that? You come out of the locker room, you just had a little bit of a break, you rested, you told your club we're going to come out, now we're going to be aggressive. We're going to kick an onside even though we're winning and you failed. Now this defense better step up and respond.
LSU will dive into the playbook here on offense. They had this lead to start the 3rd quarter because of the passing game. Didn't get a lot done on the ground.
They did, but the quarterback is in a rhythm. That was obvious in the 1st half. And so this...
Intercepted, and that's not how you want to start a half. Bringing it back. They'll make the stop on the return at the 38-yard line as this defense records an interception. And the offense came out aggressively here in the second half, but they can't put the drive together and spit it up on the turnover.
I'll tell you, this defense has a lot of athletes, and they've got a lot of guys with ball skills. If you put the football anywhere around them in their vicinity and their ability to catch the football, they'll come down with it. This quarterback has got to be way more careful here in the second half.
Quickly to the tight end. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground covered to pick up the first. They'll run play action. And it is another interception. Just a terrible struggle for this quarterback. Never had a chance to get rolling after the pick, but he gives him the ball in prime field position at the 40. So they come to the line, and the Wildcat going to give them a different look. On the direct snap, it's Durham. And how about that play by that giant, that mouth? Of a man on the defensive front.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
Throws to the wideout. And that is interception number 3 on the day. They'll stop him at the 37, and the defense comes up with a big pick.
Well, the good news is after that second pick of the third quarter now for this guy, they're still winning the game, but they are living dangerously right now. And they can't expect to hold on to that if this guy keeps making bad decisions like we've seen here now in the first period of the second half.
It's got to be frustrating because you always talk about taking care of the football, and you've got to lead in the second half. You need your quarterback to play smart.
To the air, it's Kane. Moves around to clear up the vision. He can't make the connection. It'll be incomplete. He can scramble but couldn't create anything there. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Wants to go up top. That's reeled in. It's Haynes. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker.
This defense is going to have to be careful. Not only do they have to worry about this guy running the football, but they've got to keep their eye on him when he runs routes too. He is a versatile back.
They are calling for their defense in Baton Rouge. A huge third down coming up. From the gun, wants to pass. Caught near the sticks. It's Haynes. And he's to the 48-yard line. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Well, look, that wasn't a touchdown, but that was a massive play for this offense. They needed some momentum. They needed to find a rhythm, and what better way than converting on third down. Awesome job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
And his 5th interception of the game, a miracle they haven't pulled him yet. Couldn't find much breathing room to return it, but the interception has this offense in business at the 27. First play of this drive comes from the 27. Takes a handoff. It's Durham. It continues to be a long day as they are just swarming every time he gets the ball.
Well, not a great run there, but I think what the coaching staff is trying to do is they're trying to help out their quarterback. He's thrown interceptions on each of his last 2 drives, and the best way to try to settle him down is to get the running game established. But I think the defense is aware of that right now, loading the box. Everybody up front is ready for the run.
He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
Well, one thing you got to say about this guy is he's very, very poised. He knew he had that defender bearing down on him. He got hit right as he threw it. Still, though, it didn't affect his accuracy. Nice job getting that completion.
They'll stick to the ground, looking for the marker. And he gets it done on third down. They move the chains and they'll mark it at the 44.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. I just wondered maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
And yet another Bayou Bengal baller on the outside who can just go get it.
And if I'm a quarterback, man, I love throwing to these guys. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to fit it in the box. I know my receiver out wide will make plays. LSU has had guy after guy after guy that you can name that can do that, and they might just have another one.
Going to the running game. He's going to lose a yard on that one. And the Tigers racing to the line in the hurry-up. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half.
Timeout, LSU.
So now it's 2nd and long. He wants to change this route. Off the play fake. Under fire. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And finally, the defense is able to get some pressure on this quarterback. They've been trying all game long different ways to affect him. Weren't able to get there. But on that play, because of the pressure, it affected his accuracy, and that's why the ball falls in.
The Tigers are in a mess here on 3rd and a mile. Wants to throw. It's Nussmeier. Fires to the wideout. And they fail to hook up on 3rd down.
And the offense got themselves in a tough situation. 3rd and long, so hard to execute, especially when the field starts to shrink. But the good news is they got a field goal in their back pocket.
And on 4th down, they'll try to put 3 on the board. He's going to reach for a long one, a 52-yard attempt. Right down the boulevard, it's good. And that lead grows even bigger. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
A lot of interest in this CUSA showdown today, so let's catch you up to speed on things. The home team has the lead right now, but this crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet today. The away team is hanging in there, but they're going to need something to break their way, and soon. They're up by a field goal over UCF. Conference USA tends to make its presence felt, and we'll circle back if anything big happens you should know about.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Wide open spaces. He's all the way across the 40. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 41 in the running game, getting it done. The Yellow Jackets, after exploding for that huge run, back to work. Looks as if he's going to run it. You'll take 4 yards on first down every time, 2nd and 6.
You know, I really like this QB running the football because I know he's got a lot of speed, but he's not the biggest guy in the world. So he's not going to be able to break a lot of tackles. You really got to do a good job of trying to scheme ways to get him out in more space.
Offense gets set for 2nd down. D showing blitz. They might be bluffing. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. And the Yellow Jackets want to crank the tempo. Looking to throw, it's King. Fires to the tight end. Oh, he's got some space. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call. That penalty cost them a 3rd down conversion, and now they'll have to try it from a little farther away. Lining up to convert 3rd down. He's looking downfield to throw. Lets it fly. Makes a connection. He gets it to the 38-yard line, and they'll pick up a fresh set of downs. This dude is just exceptional in every facet. So fluid, such a great route runner, and a big play there.
And money down, 3rd down, find him. I mean, you want to find that matchup because he's going to win, and gets a good release, gets down the field. You see that's your playmaker, that's your guy. Get it to him, get the 1st down.
Off play action on 1st down. Has to uncork this one off his back foot. Nearly another interception. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, this has been a day to forget if you're this quarterback. And I got to be honest, guys, I'm surprised he's still even in the game right now because he has had 0 rhythm. He hasn't been accurate. He's thrown a ton of interceptions. Most coaches would have pulled their guy by now. I know the guy I played for.
What a job to lay out and make the catch. This senior showed some serious arm strength firing that one in for the 1st down.
Well, that's another completion. This quarterback's on fire. I get it. He's thrown for over 200 yards in this game, but it's because he's got people helping him out. How about that incredible job diving out, stretching out, and hauling that pass in? Quarterbacks love it when they don't have to be perfect every time they throw the football. And this group of receivers, they are helping out their QB1.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Caught behind the line. It's Patterson. Run out of bounds. They'll spot him at the 24. With the break, they had a little extra time to dial something up for this 3rd down play. Wide receiver comes in motion. Scanning the field, it's King. Good quickness to grab it off the mountains. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the first down. Defense loves to show heat and try to confuse the quarterback. Sends it back in motion. On fourth down, trying to find his man. Takes a shot as he throws, and it never had a chance. Incomplete.
I think that play right there has been a big theme in this game. When it matters the most, on big-time down and distances, this defense has been able to step up and make the play when they need it most. That fourth down, great job in the back end in coverage, forcing the incompletion with a big lead now, creating a turnover on downs.
Finds a little bit of space, gets 3 to the 22.
It's a veteran defense. They've seen option before. They were prepared to see it in this game, and you're seeing it on that play right there. Everybody doing a great job with assignment football, staying in their gaps, accounting for anyone who can have the football. They were ready for the pitch guy that time, and they're able to make a quick stop.
Got his man downfield.
And they've been fun to watch today, man. Like, they're staying aggressive late in the game. They've built a cushion. They've built a lead. But you can just tell the confidence and the swagger they have. They've been able to do what they want today, take care of business. And this is an offense that I think is going to continue to grow.
Lining up in the Wildcat. Let's see what they've got. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about.
And this is what's going to drive coaches crazy. It's mental errors, right? It doesn't take any talent or lack of talent to have that penalty. You just got to watch the ball, and when it's snapped, get after the quarterback.
They'll try to take advantage of that offsides call. It's 1st and 5. On the direct snap, it's Durham. They get him on the ground, but it'll be enough for the first down, and they might mark that down to use the Wildcat again.
It's a point in the game, I think, as a coaching staff where you really challenge your offensive line to go win the football game, right? We've got to lead late. We're going to run the football, and the defense and everybody in the stadium knows that's what's going to happen. Can we run the ball down their throats and impose our will? That's what this offense right now is trying to do.
On the snap, it's Durham. Runs through a tackle. And he forged ahead just a bit. Not a lot working with the Wildcat there.
And I know you can play these late game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football, you preserve the lead, you got great field position, you're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
To the air, it's Nussmeier. Unloads it left. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And it's okay that that ball's incomplete. It's important this offense comes out and they show that they want to be aggressive. They show that they're willing to take shots and they're going to try and take the top off of this defense. Not able to connect on that one, but that will not be the last deep ball we see in this game.
The play action fake. Under fire. Going over the top. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. They'll send out the kicker here. And he's going to have to get into this football. This is a 53-yard attempt. Oh, the attempt is no good. So, guys, a missed opportunity to expand the lead, but still a 17-point cushion.
And sometimes I just feel like 4th down, man, just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but you left some points off the scoreboard there.
Unloads to the wideout. Got his man. They'll get the first down. It's spotted on the 49. The Yellow Jackets headed quickly to the line.
This defense better not blink. I know they've got a lead here in the 4th quarter, but just look at who they're going against. This quarterback is one of the best in the nation. They cannot rest on their laurels. Someone's going to have to make a play.
Well, will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Back to pass. makes the catch. It's Patterson. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. And the Yellow Jackets come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. Maybe some confusion on the snap count. It's going to be a false start. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Big third down here. They need to get the ball to the 41. Back to throw, it's King. And the missed connection on third down.
And it's just been that kind of day for this quarterback and this offense, guys. They have never been able to get into a rhythm throwing the football. Timing's been off. Accuracy hasn't been great. We've seen some drops. Just not in sync, and that's why they find themselves trailing by a lot right here late in the game.
On fourth down, they'll throw for it. Oh, he dropped it. He just lost his concentration and didn't look it all the way in. Desperately wanted to convert on fourth down, but couldn't do it. We thought we'd see a little wildcat formation in this spot, and here it is. Direct snap. It's Durham. Wildcat look didn't get much. Picked up a few on that one.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there. You just got to execute. You got to be aware, but you've got this game in hand so long as you don't turn it over.
He'll take a shot. Touchdown, Tigers! And the pummeling has started.
Well, obviously, this team didn't get the start they wanted to on the year, coming into this one 0-1, but a great job there, getting that drive, putting 6 up on the board. They've got a comfortable lead. They wanted to turn the page and start to build momentum. This is a massive win for this program.
Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. This drive will start from the 19-yard line. Dropping back, it's King. Just not quite able to make the connection. It's incomplete.
And that's just the kind of game it's been for this quarterback and this offense. You got a great game plan all week long. You're watching it throughout practice. You think you're going to have a chance to light up the scoreboard, but they're just not able to hook up. You've got to give this defense a ton of credit. They've done a great job in coverage. They've been breaking on passes. They've had their number, and that's why they're leading by as much as they are.
It's caught downfield. And they'll spot it at the 45. That's good enough for a first down.
Hey, down in the fourth quarter, you better have a dude at the quarterback spot. They do, and they're going to trust him, and he's going to have to continue to deliver like this, making plays down the field, protecting the football, but we know he has the ability.
Coming out on first down with the play fake. Finds his tight end. After that last completion, it's second down. Motion from the wide receiver. Going to sling it on second down. Makes the grab. It's Haynes.
And this offense is going to have to find more explosive plays. And it can't just rely on the dink and dunk. It's going to have to find itself and score more points. Listen, they got beat up today. But moving on in the future, they've got some good pieces. They got to find a way to fit them together, create some explosive plays on this offense, because today they've been lacking.
It's a running room. Third down conversions are huge, and they've got one, and they're at the 35.
Good enough for a
That's a really nice game. It just would have been really nice to see this from this offense earlier. Now you're getting to the point where there's a couple of thought processes. Do I build momentum for next week? Do I try to get this offense with the ground game clicking, or do I throw the football every play and try to make this football game close?
The chunk plays that they love, and he takes it all the way down to the 10.
This quarterback obviously did a lot of film prep coming into this one. He has been picking this defense apart. With that last completion, guys, he's now got over 300 yards passing.
The Yellow Jackets had tough field position to start this drive, but they've been relentless in moving the ball methodically down the field. On the ground, it's Haynes. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score. Trying to get everybody set with the clock still running. Corner's right up on that line of scrimmage. Looking to throw, it's King. The safe call on the wide receiver screen. They've got it down to the 3-yard line. Really well done on that throw and catch.
And this game is obviously out of hand. But I think the fans would argue, too, at this point, like, all right, well, let's not throw checkdowns, right? Let's throw some deep balls and continue to open up this offense and keep fighting. I think that's what you want to see. You want to see your squad not quit. Keep fighting until the very end of the football game.
On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. Touchdown, Georgia Tech! Quick strike through the air for the score.
And a nice touchdown, continuing to fight, continuing to play. This one, it's pretty much over. Down multiple possessions this late in the football game. It would take a miracle, but nice job by this offense continuing to fight, push the ball down the field, make plays.
And good coverage and better hands by the defender to knock it down in the end zone. Undeterred by this huge deficit in the last half minute, they'll line up for the onside kick. And a few anxious moments, but the hands team is able to fall on it. They were trying to steal a possession to draw a little closer in this game, but the ball didn't go 10 yards, so they'll take over the football with the lead. This offense has it with really good field position. Running back searching for a hole. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, he'll lose a yard. Defense gets the timeout called. 20 seconds left on the clock. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Wide receiver going in motion. Now the play fake. Looking down the middle. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. They'll make the stop, but that first down ought to ice it, and they should be able to kneel this one out. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. All business today for this ball club. They come out and they get the win.
And that's all that matters. It's not always pretty. You don't always do everything you want to do or check all the boxes. But at the end of the game, Jesse, you want that W.
No doubt about it. They made the plays they needed to make in order to get this win. I thought the quarterback showed tremendous poise, good leadership throughout the course of the game. Defense made stops when they had to make them. So, right, there were some things that are going to need to clean up moving forward, but ultimately they were the better team tonight.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.